Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. And today's video is when you fall first and they fall harder. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and let's get going. You'd never thought you'd find yourself in this situation. It wasn't a villain attack, or a difficult exam, or even a cooking attempt that was failing. No, your current problem was far worse. You were hopelessly and quite foolishly in love with two of your closest friends. It had started subtly, as things do, with Katsuki Bakugo. It was the small things, the way his explosions, usually a symbol of his volatile nature, became a comforting sound when he was training. A sound that somehow grounded you, or the rare softening of his crimson eyes when he looked at you. You would catch him sometimes, watching you during study sessions, or after a grueling training exercise, and his gaze, though intense, held a strange quiet warmth. One evening, you were struggling with a complex physics problem. Your brow was furrowed, your pen tapping impatiently against the textbook. Bakugo, perched on a beanbag across the common room, had been ignoring you, engrossed in his phone. But then, a textbook thudded onto the table beside you. "You're doing it wrong, dumbass," he grumbled, although his voice lacked its usual bite. He pointed a finger at a line in your notes. "This formula applies here, not that one. Pay attention." He didn't explain it. Not really. He just pointed, scoffed, and then, to your utter surprise, he nudged your textbook open to the correct page, his hand brushing yours for a brief, electrifying second. You looked up, startled, but he was already turning away, feigning disinterest. Your cheeks warmed. It wasn't a grand gesture, but it was him. It was his way of helping, gruff and unapologetic, yet undeniably caring. That was the first crack. And then there was Ijiro Kirishima. With him, it was a different kind of warmth, a steady and wavering flame that always made you feel safe and seen. Kirishima was the sunniest person you knew, and his enthusiasm was infectious. He was the one who'd pull you into conversations when you felt shy, the one who would cheer the loudest for your victories, and the one to offer a comforting pat on the back after a setback. You figured out your feelings for Kirishima during a rough training day. You'd pushed yourself too hard, and your quirk had backfired, leaving you feeling drained and frustrated. You were sitting alone, head in your hands, when a shadow fell over you. "Hey, you alright, Wayan?" Kirishima's voice was gentle, laced with genuine concern. He sat beside you, his arm resting casually on your shoulder. "That was a tough one. You really gave it your all, though. That last move was super manly, even if it didn't quite land." He didn't offer advice or criticism, just pure encouragement. He listened patiently as you mumbled about your frustration, nodding empathetically. And when he finally looked up, his bright red eyes were sparkling with understanding. "Don't sweat it too much," he said, a wide, reassuring grin spreading across his face. "Every hero has off days. What matters is that you keep getting back up. Want to grab some juice? My treat." His easygoing nature and his incredible, kind heart had slowly, surely carved out a space in your affections. He was that comfort that you craved, the steady hand that pulled you forward. And so, you found yourself in this delightful, agonizing mess. You loved Baku's hidden tenderness, the way he subtly looked out for you, and you loved Kirishima's open kindness. You loved them both, in different, equally profound ways. And the worst part, you couldn't confess, not to either of them. The thought of potentially disturbing the comfortable but complicated dynamic that you shared with them was terrifying, and so you kept it to yourself. One afternoon, the three of you were sprawled out on the common room couches, studying, but mostly just procrastinating. Bakugo was scrolling through his phone. Kirishima was excitedly telling you about a new hero documentary that he'd watched, and you were trying to focus on your textbook, but your gaze kept drifting. Kirishima mid-sentence about All Might's early career, suddenly paused. "Hey, Ryan, your hair's a bit messy there," he said, reaching out without thinking and gently tucking a stray strand of hair behind your ear. His fingers lingered for a second, warm and soft against your skin, before he pulled back. "Sorry, just wanted to fix it." Your breath hitched, and you could feel your own face heating up, and so you quickly mumbled, "Thanks, Kiri." You raised a glance at Bakugo, who had frozen, his phone screen glowing unheeded in his hand. His eyes, usually so expressive, were unreadable as he stared at Kirishima's hand, then at your face, then back at his phone. A strange tension filled the air. Kirishima chuckled nervously. "No problem. Anyway, about All Might." He resumed his story. One evening, while you were all studying together, a sudden power flicker plunged the room into momentary darkness. A collective gasp went through the room, followed by a few nervous giggles. Before you could even register the sudden lack of light, two distinct presences were instantly beside you. A warm, solid hand gripped your arm. Kirishima. You knew from the familiar texture of his hardening quirk, and then a more hesitant, but equally firm hand settled on your lower back. Bakugo's. Both were there instantly, protecting you, even from a simple power outage. When the lights flickered back on, both hands retracted almost immediately. Kirishima mumbled something about making sure you didn't trip, while Bakugo just coughed and turned away. Later on, Kirishima found you alone in the common room. "Hey, Ryan," he began, his voice quiet, his red eyes earnest. "Look, I've been debating saying this, but I'm just going to say it right now because if I don't think I'll ever. Look, I really like spending time with you. More than just as friends, I mean. I think I'm falling for you." His cheeks were flushed, his gaze unwavering, and before he could even process the words, a loud explosive "oi" ripped through the air. Bakugo stood in the doorway, hands sparking, but his eyes held a flicker of panic. He strode over, practically yanking Kirishima up. "What the heck do you think you're doing, shitty hair? Trying to steal my thunder." He shoved Kirishima slightly, and then turned to you. "Look, Ryan, I don't know what that idiot just said, but you're mine, damn it. I don't like you, I love you. You damn extra." He finished, chest heaving, face a furious blush. You stared, wide-eyed at the two of them, their confessions stumbling out in their own distinct, chaotic ways. Kirishima, rubbing his neck, looking between you and Bakugo with a mix of surprise and understanding, and Bakugo, still fuming but clearly embarrassed, avoided your gaze, his ears bright red. The secret you had held so tightly, the love that you had nurtured in silence, was suddenly out in the open, raw and exposed. And in that moment, despite the chaos, your heart felt lighter than it had in years. Yes, to both of you. I love you both as well. Thanks for listening. I hope you like this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And goodbye.